Welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. I'm here with West Point Gold, a newly formed company, first time to Metal Investment Forum. Welcome, Quentin.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, great. First you started with a great success with Corvus Gold, and then you welcome, congratulations to become the CEO of this new company. Tell about a little bit of your background.
Well,
why you joined us?
Well, I've been in the business almost 30 years now, and most notably within the gold sector, I helped found International Tower Hill in 2006, which in 2010 we spun off Corvus Gold. And all the non-core assets, which happen to be the Bullfrog project in Nevada, just 90 miles northwest of Las Vegas. And at the time, it was essentially we were just trying to develop a low-grade asset. Gold was just breaking through $1,100 at the time. And we started just trying to put together what was a historic mining district that had originally been owned by Barrick back in the 1990s and 80s with the Bullfrog mine. And we were just trying to develop something. And over the 11 years from 2010, 11 to 22, we actually developed almost 4 million ounces of gold. With that project, AngloGold Ashanti bought us in early 2022 for $570 million. So I've largely been not really working for the last couple of years, just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And almost a year ago, I was introduced to this opportunity, which has now become West Point Gold. And essentially, the primary project is in Arizona, just right over the state line from Nevada. So it's actually 91 miles to the southeast of Las Vegas. So we've got the perfectly polar opposite from the other side of Vegas in the Walker Lane district, a prolific district that essentially, because we're in Arizona, and just a mile or two inside the state, it's not seen anywhere near the work that Nevada would have seen. And quite honestly, this project is about as good of an analogy for Corvus as you could find, which I should incidentally say, which is now almost 16 million ounces that AngloGold has developed and growing. I've understand there's some pretty incredible intercepts that are coming out of that from Anglo, and this is being talked about a 20, 30-year mine life that's going to be there. So, and we've got a perfect analogy for it here in Arizona, just on the other side of Las Vegas. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, I remember visiting that area many years ago. I know that Anglo was drilling and it was top secret. And it's finally coming out, the big one. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Great pick. And now you're working on the Corvus too.
I would
Tell
say,
us why you're excited. Why did they draw you back from retirement to join this new company?
Exactly. And I think it was just being able to recognize the opportunity in the sense that the primary project in Arizona is called Gold Chain. It's in the Oatman district, which was historically mined 1905 to 1920. It was a great district. There's a lot of historical workings there. And essentially, we're in this epithermal system that's got a number of structures over 3.4 kilometers that have historic workings that have never really been put together into one company, into one land package. It's largely patented mining ground. There's a really big stake BLM component to it outside of that. And essentially, we're now having a very focused program on this, which has only seen very minimal work in the past 100 years. And we're looking at some of the rock samples that site added that are 1 ounce, 2 ounces, and things like that haven't been followed up on. So, we're standing at one of the adits from 100 years ago. And we say, what's that? And he's 51 grams. So we're saying, and no one's done any work there.
No.
So, and essentially that's the upside to the opportunity, but what's the focus that's really exciting is there's a vein system structure there called Tyro, which is we're doing our first workout to have a maiden resource out on later this year. The Tyro vein is a structure that's 800 meters long, 30 to 50 meters wide, and 300 meters deep.
Wow.
At surface, oxide, and your approximate grade is 1.5 to 2.5 grams. So you're dealing with a model that's 15 million tons to 31 million tons, so underside of 700,000 ounces to over 2, and that's just the first deposit that we're chasing, the low-hanging fruit. The most notable drill intercept that was drilled there by our predecessor in 2023 was 9 meters of 51 grams. in an
Wow.
intercept of 86 meters of 6
Wow.
grams.
Wow.
So that hole kind of said, we really got to, that's the smoke, the fire.
Yeah.
So, and as mentioned, it was actually drilled RC, never drilled core. So we just did a 1,284 meter drill program of core in November. And we just announced the first results from that last week. And one of the flagship holes, hole 30, was 51 meters of 1.5 grams. And in that 36 meters of 2 grams. So what was interesting about that hole is the structures is always been perceived to be 30 to 50 meters wide. And so there's a hanging wall on the topper end of the mineralization, and the lower end is the footwall. And we didn't actually sample or assay above the hanging wall. And we just realized that with doing the assays higher in the system, in the hole, one of the holes was 0.6 at almost 7 grams. So we've got 28 meters that wasn't sampled. So we actually sent that part of the hole to the lab this week, and we expect to be re-announcing or re-releasing that hole in a month or so, which we're now thinking we might have an 80 meter intercept as opposed to a 50 meter intercept.
Wow.
So
that's making mining much easier.
Yeah, no, I tell you, it's exciting because these are holes we've drilled that we're just going to send to the lab, and we're about to start a 3,000 to 4,000 meter RC drill program along the strike. Essentially, that's going to be our maiden resource. So now that we've got a better handle on the structure with the core drilling, we're now going to do some RC drilling just to pound out, which is half the cost of core.
Right.
And then we'll be able to get those results out, hopefully into not too much later than late March into April. So there's a lot of things to stand by. And as mentioned, we expect to be looking at a maiden resource later this year. And the structure is certainly seemingly holding together based on the results we're seeing.
So you see it as good as Corvus, if not a little better?
It's interesting. A lot of people are asking me that. And what's interesting is Corvus had a wonderful opportunity, really first mover in the district. Anglo came in later and staked a bunch of the ground to the north of us, which is where the lion's share of their ounces came from, Merlin and Silicon. And that is geologically a graben. So you've basically a volcanic dome. And we actually, West Point Gold, have staked the northern area off the structure. And we actually have that potential to the north. We haven't drilled it yet. It's a blind target. We're going to focus on the low-hanging fruit of Tyro, but we actually have the ground to be looking for that kind of massive.
So just make sure Anglo won't come in steal your land package to the north anymore, right?
Well, that's the one thing that's interesting about Anglo is that they had left North America. When they sold Cripple Creek to Newmont several years ago, they're now breaking back into North America. They spent somewhere between $200 to $500 million after buying Corvus on developing the Bullfrog area. This is now their beachhead back into North America. So one would assume that they're going to be paying attention to something that's a similar epithermal setting next to a graben within the parview of where they're re-entering North America. So we're certainly doing that.
It's really exciting. Is this a metallurgical similar recovery? Kind of done any met work yet?
We have not done any met work ourselves yet. That's on the top list of things to do. Considering we've got historical production, right above the drill hole we just put out, hole 30, there was mining in the 80s, heap leach, 2 grams. They mined about 40,000 ounces of gold, threw it on a nearby heap leach pad.
There must be,
We're not assuming any metallurgical problems right now, but all signs are pointing that there's not going to be any kind of metallurgical issues. We also have, interestingly enough, just reached an agreement with the Colorado School of Mines, and they've got a lot of the technology for regional setting with actually helping us figure out what minerals are in the rocks. So it's actually going to be able to help us try to determine that in advance of doing the metallurgical testing that's coming down the pipe as well. So,
That's super exciting, Quentin. So tell us what is the share structure? I mean, for the new investors, so what's the valuation they're looking right now? And then maybe we look at Corvus too, maybe even bigger than Corvus, right? So what's the upside for the new investors?
That's the most exciting part about it because, and again, just to tie it back to Corvus was a spin-off of Tower Hill, so the valuation was quite high when we spun it off because of the assets. This is the ground floor, and where the incredible side for the investors comes in is because we just financed, we raised $6 million in over 3 tranches before the year end at 25 cents a share. The stock's trading at 35 cents a share right now. There's 65 million shares issued, just over 90 in fully diluted. We have just about 25 million warrants, and those are priced between 30 cents and 50 cents. The plan right now is to start getting our trading value up to get the money from those warrants in, because we really think there's actually over $10 million we can bring in from those 25 million warrants. So with the work we're doing and the results that are coming in, we're fairly comfortable and confident that that's going to create the market profile and the liquidity for those warrants to be exercised, put more money in the treasury, because our goal is to drill 24/7 because there's so many targets there. Get the Tyro quantified, and then there's several other targets, starting with the one to the north of Tyro, which is called Frisco Graben, and then to the south of it, it's the sunset and the sunrise, and that's actually where I mentioned at the beginning with the 51 gram gold. That's all at the southern end of the Tyro structure. So we've got all these different targets we need to go after, and we can really, we're going to drill, baby, drill on this. Basically, we don't want to stop, and essentially this next steps in the path of what's going to take us to that and hopefully get that valuation. And I should note, we've just had a mid-tier just move into the district just to the south of us. There was a distressed asset that was producing. Mako Mining came in. And so now we've actually got more attention on the area as well. So it's quite exciting about that as well.
Perfect place to get started. So to just summarize, total fully diluted, it's 90 million?
Just over 90, that's right.
Wow, that's your market cap is so tiny compared with when you start with COVID. So
hopefully
you can repeat the magic and maybe have a higher valuation since you already stake all these other potential to the north.
Exactly. That's exactly what our goal is.
Wow, great. Look at the super exciting story. As a shareholder, I'm excited too. So hopefully same for our audience.
Okay.
So welcome to Metals Man Forum, and hope to hear your success in the future.
Thank you so much.